right, I'm very excited to introduce the individual that I have with me here today. Our Unite and Conquer seminar would be nothing if it didn't have some motivational, inspirational, and experienced individuals to speak and inspire the individuals that are going to be attending. So today, it's my really, really good friend and really hardworking individual in the DMV area, and it is Scott Parker. My man, appreciate you making time.
Good to be here,
today.
Man. Yeah, of course.
How's your day coming along?
Amazing, another busy one.
I'm sure every day is busy when you run about 7, 8 different businesses. So you gave us a little tour of your beautiful city, you know, at least a couple blocks around the office. It was nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, obviously, in the DMV area that know you, that frequent your most popular spots, which include?
Yeah, so from the restaurant side, Don Tito, Don Taco, Barley Mac, the G.O.A.T, Bronson Bierhall, and the 2 Roy Boys locations in D.C.
So business is slow.
Business is okay, yeah.
But there's also a lot of people who don't know you fully, and so this was an opportunity for me to present you, for lack of a better term, to the community. So I want you to kind of start off with a little bit of background about where you're from and what led you to this path of entrepreneurship.
Sure, yeah, so I'm a small town New Jersey guy originally. I grew up right outside Atlantic City by the beach. So I started working in restaurants when I was 14, as a dishwasher, food runner, short order cook, host, server, bartender, barback, busboy, valet parking.
Literally A to Z.
Almost everything.
Oh, even valet outside.
Valet outside, yeah, a little bit of everything in the restaurant industry. And then I went to James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So after college, I decided to move to Arlington, and I did corporate America for 6 or 7 years, working a 9 to 5, getting dressed up for work every day, that kind of stuff.
What type of corporate stuff?
It was sales, so selling software products over the phone to different companies. And it was great, it was fun, but I really realized right away that it probably wasn't for me. And so sometime around when I can't really remember, I was 24, I was 25, I got in my mind that, after 10 years of restaurant and bar experience, maybe I should try to become a bar owner. And so I did that and started working towards saving some money to do that. And when I was 30, right around when I turned 30, I got to open my first bar, and that was A-Town, which had a lot of success for a lot of years in Arlington, luckily. And once A-Town grew, we were able to open, more restaurants and bars, and then eventually I started getting into other small business stuff from there.
So A-Town was definitely one of the most popular places in town, known for your Sunday brunch parties, What is it that led you to want to diversify your portfolio so quickly? Because, it's a lot of expansion in a very short amount of years,
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, I think I think everyone has their doubts, including self-doubts when they do something for the first time. And going into business, I had a lot of doubts, a lot of self-doubts as well. And I think that after a year or two of being successful in the restaurant industry, after hearing all the horror stories of 95% of restaurants close in their first 2 years, and all that different, all those different comments and sort of insecurities and fears, once I got over that hump and I realized I can do this successfully, then I started to think more about, well, if I can do this successfully after I heard about how hard it is, maybe I can do other things successfully. So I just started to think about, other ideas, and from there, I first went into doing, dog daycare and boarding facilities, and then, boxing gyms and barber shops and on and on. And so it really just started from learning that it was possible. Like I said, I had a lot of doubts going into it, but it just really worked out well going forward.
What is it that you believe that you do very good that has allowed you to kind of grow all these businesses almost simultaneously, considering that they are in many ways completely separate industries?
Yeah, I think I've worked hard and tried to learn a lot about leadership. So obviously, someone in my situation, I really can't be in all these different places at once anymore. In the beginning, there was 1 restaurant, then 2, then 3, so it was much easier to bounce between. But now, there's between everything probably 15 or 16 different stores, and so I can't be everywhere. And so I've really worked hard to try to be a good leader, try to motivate people the right way, try to find great people, and then inspire them to do great work so that when I can't be there, they're there doing the right things and giving it their best.
What's your definition of great people? When you're going out to look for the right people, what are the criteria that you look at?
That's a great question. I think I really look for someone who presents well, the basic things, how do they shake hands, how do they talk, how do they speak, eye contact, attitude and enthusiasm. And then from there, I think just work ethic. I make it very clear to anyone that we bring onto the teams that this is not going to be the easiest job you've ever had. It's not going to be the least amount of responsibility you've ever had. You're going to have a lot of responsibility. You're going to work hard, and you're going to be a part of a team that really cares and supports you. And so I sort of make a little mini agreement with every person that I bring on board to one of the companies, like, I'm always going to support you. I'm always going to be a transparent boss. I'm always going to have your back. In turn, you need to really work hard for me, and these people that work for both of us and are a part of our family in whichever company they're in, we need to support and inspire them too and be there for them. And by doing that, we can maybe all make something happen together.
I love it. And so obviously when you're growing this many different brands, the selection of people is super important, but during this whole leadership that you're trying to be great at, were there people that were kind of like role models to you, or that you learned from, or was it all through trial and error that you kind of became the great leader that is required to operate this many different businesses,
Yeah, in the beginning there definitely was a ton of trial and error. I don't think that my leadership style 7 years ago when I first started was what it is now. Back then I was more of just the, let's push no matter what to get it done type leader, let's overcome any obstacle, which I still am to an extent, but I've learned a lot more to listen more and pay attention to people and give them the benefit of the doubt as opposed to just try to push for the goal at any point in time. And in the later years, the past few years, I've started to spend a lot of time reading about leaders, reading about leadership in general, trying to learn from people that I think are great leaders out there. Even famous people that we don't know firsthand, but that I can read about and learn. How did they get to where they are? How do they manage people? How do they inspire people? And so over time, it's something that I've tried to develop, because I realize in all these industries that I'm in, whether it's boxing, barbershops, dog daycares, restaurants, there's so many people out there that are always going to know a lot more than me about those industries. And I don't have time anymore to try to learn those industries inside and out. So the best way for me to be successful is to find amazing people that are experts in those industries and try to partner up with them.
Well, one thing that you just touched on about learning from other people, I myself in the last couple of years, I've been doing so much more reading and just so much more just webinar, just full-fledged education. And like one of the things that I regret in the 20s and early 30s is not utilizing all this world of knowledge that so many people ahead of us have experienced. I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't listen to all these people who are willingly trying to help other people come up, and that's really one of the reasons why we're doing the Unite and Conquer seminar, and one of the reasons why I chose you to be one of the presenters is because even though we weren't, close, hanging out as friends, through social media, I was always following you, and I appreciated the fact that you were using a lot of your life lessons to motivate, inspire, and educate the next generation, or even people in your own age group. It doesn't matter, So that was like one of the wonderful things, and there was definitely a personal part of you growing up that I feel like changed completely in the late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I was 27. I was a few months away from being 28 when I first quit. I was a pretty bad alcoholic. I started drinking hard when I was 16, 17, right in there. And I think very, very quickly I knew almost instantly that this is something that I am too drawn to. I took to alcohol and sort of drinking as a way of life very fast, and I learned right away that this is something that is going to be a problem for me. I think even when I was a kid, 17, 18, I already knew this is a problem. I really take this too far. I'm too obsessed with this. This is going to be a problem for me in life. And then it did become a tremendous problem. It became a problem with my family, my friends, my work. Before I started owning businesses, I was still drinking back then, so I don't think I could have achieved half of what I've been able to achieve without alcohol. And so it got to a point when I was 27, almost 28, that I just had way too many bad nights, just waking up a disaster, several bad nights waking up, banged up, cut from falling down or getting in fights or other types of just nasty behavior that I really didn't want to be who I was. And more than that, it just was, I was getting depressed, I was getting sick from it. I wasn't certainly the son or brother or uncle that I wanted to be, and the friend I wanted to be. And so I knew that to develop as a person and to achieve what I wanted to professionally, I had to find a way to get rid of it. And so this May will be 10 years, and it's been a wild ride, but it's been great. Yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, I commend you for that. I think it's there's a couple of things that I'm proud of you, and I appreciate you sharing. One is the fact that I know it wasn't easy, so that's amazing that you were able to kind of fight through that battle. The second part is the fact that you're using that now to share this knowledge with other people and share your experiences, because I have no doubt that it has inspired a lot of people. So my question to you is, what is it that because I'm sure you don't tell people do not drink at all.
Yeah.
However, how hard, like, what do you pass on?
Yeah, I mean, what I tell to each person is drink as much as you want so that you're in a happy place with it. So for one person, that might be 1 or 2 drinks a day. For the next person, maybe they really are truly happy drinking 10, 15 drinks a day because it's what they love and they feel their body can handle it and they feel great with it and they're not getting into trouble from it or getting miserable from it. And so if that's the case, you know, do it up, do you, is what I always say. But I think the challenge we have as people is there are a lot of people, because alcohol is such a huge part of our culture, that have grown unhappy with it, and they just don't really recognize how unhappy they have grown with it because it happened slowly over the course of a bunch of years. And I talk to so many people who say things to me like, you know I should stop, or I really wish I would stop, but everyone I know drinks, and every social event there's drinking, and every family event there's drinking, weddings, New Year's, and holidays, and all that stuff. And people can't really, it sort of becomes part of people's lives to the point where they don't know how to get rid of it. They don't know how to rid themselves of it. And some of these people are, you know, what I would call an alcoholic, although each person needs to make that decision for themselves. But some of these people are people like I was that really have a problem. Other people, they might only drink 2 or 3 nights a week, and each time that they drink, they might only drink, you know, 3 or 4 drinks, but they're still not happy with it. They're not happy about the way they act, or they're not happy how they feel the next day in the morning. And so people will say to me all the time, I really wish I would do that, or I wish I could quit. And that's how I kind of get some of the conversations going with people. And I tell them, just like I just told you, if you're happy with it, keep going. If you're unhappy with it, then maybe it's time to stop. But only people can decide that for themselves.
Plus, when you hit 30s, the hangover is pretty brutal anyways.
Yeah,
I feel like that in and by itself is already enough reason to not drink as much.
Yeah.
Did you have any challenges with the sobriety while being in an environment that is constantly around alcohol?
Man, that's a great question. In the beginning, I think yes. It was hard, maybe the first few months or so. So I just kind of distanced myself from those situations. Over time, once it was probably I was sober for 2.5 or 3 years when I opened my first bar that I owned, and at that point, I think it was sort of the flip side. You know, people always ask me that question, like you do. Isn't it hard to be around it? I always want to tell people, in some ways, it was easier to be around it because every day I see what alcohol does to people, the way it changes them, how unhappy it makes them. And so, you know, it's almost like every day there's that reminder of, you know, I'm happy where I am now, I'm in a good place. If I follow this path, I might not be in a great place like they are not. And so that's just something that we try to...
Does having a lifestyle business like Bash, for example, or fitness type of business, is that one of the things that you want to do? You want to promote health and happiness and all that fitness?
Oh, for sure. I mean, and you know, the amazing thing about fitness, you know, we as a society and we as a people are starting to, you know, fitness is an ever-expanding market. It's growing and growing now in leaps and bounds, and it's bigger than it's ever been. It's gonna, experts expect it, you know, to continue to get better. What's been amazing for Bash that has helped, you know, me in my own life and other people is there's the physical fitness, but then also what it's done for people's mentality is amazing. We have so many people that are a part of Bash who say it's helped them with their depression. It's helped them get over, you know, a traumatic life event. It's helped them get the confidence again to start exercising again when they didn't have it before. And that really touches us. You know, my business partner, who's the CEO of the company, Alex Trachis, she's an amazing human with just a heart as big as the world. And that's kind of the conversations that we had when we started Bash. Was there's going to be boxing studios, cycling studios, you know, weight rooms. There's all these different gyms, right? And so we can provide a great boxing workout, but what we really want to do is help people. And we know that, sort of what we want to do from philanthropy and what we want to do commercially and in business, those things can intersect very well together. If we can make someone happier and healthier, they're going to stick with the program, they're going to stick with Bash. And so we have people that are coming in and, losing a bunch of weight, and that's amazing because it's helping their physical health. And then on top of that, they're saying things like, Bash has really helped me battle my depression. Bash has really helped me, get through this traumatic life event that I had, or get over this, ex-boyfriend or husband or wife that I had, or whatever the case may be, whatever they're going through, for us to be able to provide a safe space where people can have an amazing workout and then also feel better mentally as well is just absolutely amazing.
I love that, a business with a purpose, you know? So you're obviously helping people with their mind, body, and soul, and also for recreation for anyone who wants to enjoy a night out too. But in general, you've just brought the whole community together with all these different things that you have going on. Is that something that you kind of set out in the beginning? Be like, you know what, I just want to be a community leader and just bring everybody together? Was that a goal?
I don't know that it was. We knew that we wanted to just treat people as well as possible, make them feel like the brand was, a part of them was in the brand as well too. And with A-Town and its wild popularity, that was something that we accomplished pretty quickly. I think part of the reason that I realized the whole community vision was that in the beginning, a way that I built A-Town as a brand was just being there 7 days a week, meeting people, asking how I could take care of them, shaking hands. I met so many people those first couple of years. I mean, probably thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of people. And just by welcoming them to the space and thanking them for coming in and sort of meeting people, it sort of created that community feel of, it's not just a bar, it's not just a restaurant, but there's the owner and he's on site shaking hands and taking care of people. He really cares. Well, if he cares that much and he's this passionate, then maybe I should give the place a chance too, and maybe I should try to enjoy the place as well too. And it just became sort of this this community thing that happened fast and just was a great win-win across the board.
Do you have a specific purpose in life that you're going after right now?
Man, that's a heavy question. I think I kind of see my career in 3 different phases. The first one is growing to be what I want for my career myself, and I've certainly done that. There's definitely a lot of things I want to accomplish, but if I could look back 10 years ago to where I am now, I mean, I definitely would have hit all of those goals. I'm kind of in the second phase right now, which is still focusing on my career and then also helping a lot of the people around me explode in their careers and do better in their careers as well too. And so some of my closest friends from back home in New Jersey have moved here and own businesses with me. I think I was telling you earlier, I own a business with my brother and my sister-in-law now too. And so I'm in this phase in my career where I've held myself enough. I'm not the materialistic guy. I don't have dreams of being a billionaire or trying to load my bank account or buy a 20,000 square foot house. I really just wanted to get successful myself so that I wouldn't have to sweat bills and be worried about my finances. And now I'm in a phase where I want to help the people that are close to me, my friends, my family, and them grow, with the hope that once that phase is done in 10 or 15 or 20 years, however long it takes, maybe shorter, however, when that's done, then me and the people around me can focus on helping people that can't help themselves, that we don't know, and so I think that's really the purpose for all of us, I hope. I think, there's enough people out there that are continually trying to stack their bank accounts forever, that if we can put some people together that want to help others, it's a win-win. And so, like I said, I've seen it as a phase where when I first got here 13, 14 years ago, it was all about me helping myself because I had nothing and I didn't know how to build, and I had to build something. And so, I did that, and that sort of built up over time. Now I'm in a phase where I'm helping the people that are close to me grow in their careers, and then I'm doing that with the agreement with all of them, my brother and all of the people I work with, that, look, one day we're going to get to a place where you guys don't have needs anymore, you don't need anything. When we get to that place, then we're going to focus our efforts on helping other people for as long as we're allowed to, lucky enough to live and work. And so those are sort of the 3 phases I'm in. I'm somewhere in that middle phase right now.
Well, I mean, I love it. It's obvious that you're strategically putting people that you love and that trust, into leading these brands, and that prevents you from having to go put out a lot of fires because you're given in the hands of dependable and reliable people. And I think it's very commendable that you're even helping out by bringing your family, which in turn is helping you out too, because that ability to trust people is one of the most challenging things of running a business, like who do you trust to be able to handle this type of business, So now we have a seminar like the Unite and Conquer seminar. How important is it for you to be able to share your life lessons, your experiences with other people who want to go down your path?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, the challenge I had before I was an entrepreneur was, I don't want to say no one believed in me, but not that many people encouraged me to say that this is possible, you can do this. There was a lot of naysayers, there was a lot of people telling me, you know, restaurants and bars fail, are you sure? There's competition, you know, all this stuff and a lot of doubt. And then I did it, and so I wish that back then there was maybe more people pushing me along and telling me to do this kind of stuff. And so by doing that myself, I just last week spoke to a group of about 40 or 50 JMU kids from the entrepreneurship program that came to town to meet, you know, entrepreneurs and stuff. And I've been to a lot of elementary schools, high schools, talking to different groups. By doing that, it's something that you can't really describe. The feeling it gives you, you know, there's nothing that you know, financial success or business success can give you that can replace the feeling of helping someone else that's young in their career. And so many of these people I meet with, you know, young men and women are just where I was. They're in their young 20s or maybe mid 20s, and they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to try this. And there's no one around them sort of guiding them through the process or helping them or even just believing them and telling them to do it. And so that's been sort of tremendous for me as well.
I mean, helping out the younger generation is something that I personally want to do more too, because I feel like all they look at are whoever the most popular influencers are on social media, and they live such an unrealistic life. Yeah. And so those expectations are super high to meet. So when they meet people like you who are real and are able to motivate them and inspire them, hopefully guide them in the right direction, that's a beautiful position to be in. So I'm glad that you're using your position to positively impact those around you, and I hope that you're able to touch more and more people outside of the community as well as you continue to grow your business and brands, and I look forward to seeing more places pop up around the country.
Awesome. So that's the goal.
Let's do a lot more bashes all around. There's more Don Titos, and thank you for repping the DMV in a positive way, man. And I'm excited to have you a part of the seminar.
Awesome. I can't wait.
And you're gonna have to come in person to see what else Scott can share with you, his wisdom, his knowledge, his experiences, and coming up in March. So look out for Scott Parker, and appreciate your time, man.
Always, man. Great.
Take care.